Good morning, guys. God bless you. So I feel like I was just like thinking, and the Lord kind of like affirmed it in the spirit that so many Christians are not in the spirit, right? In Ephesians, it says, "You are now in the spirit, child of God." So walk in the spirit. You know, a lot of our struggles with sin can boil down to the fact that we're not praying into the spirit. We're not getting into the spirit. We're not reading our Bible. We're not fasting. We're not doing things, the flesh dislikes. Because if we're constantly scrolling and, watching TV and sitting on the couch and eating potato chips and, and there's time and place for everything. But the point being that our flesh is going to grow strong and we're going to be struggling with sin. Trying to get away from this traffic. I feel like the Lord has put on me, be doers of the word, right? So another thing, evangelism is something the flesh dislikes. Why? Because we are rejected, right? The flesh, it likes to be accepted. It like, and I'm talking, when I say the flesh, I'm talking about our carnal nature, right? Our human nature, right? It likes to fit in, right? It likes to have things, all these things. But when we start denying ourselves, right? We're going to start putting away those things. Going to be one by one, right? But essentially, the more you feed your spirit, the easier it will be to do things in the spirit, the things that you want to do, right? And Paul said, the things that I want to do, I find I can't do. The things in the spirit, right? The good things, the things that God is calling us to, things that you know that you should do, child of God, things that you know that are going to better your life in the long run, and it's going to benefit everybody, right? But a lot of times, we end up feeding the flesh, right? And getting into a seat back into bondage, sin cycles, saying, how did I get here? It's a lack of prayer. And I don't share this to shame anybody that's struggling with it, right? Because God ultimately has a hope and a future for you. And it can be difficult. I understand that. But we have to learn how to lean on the Lord in all things. And trust Him. Faith. It's impossible to please God without faith. Faith pleases God. Faith moves God in our lives. When we take that leap of faith and we say, okay, Lord, I trust you. Yeah, I don't have all the evidence. I don't have all the details. I don't have maybe all the resources, but I'm going to trust you. I think as Christians, many of us have really returned to the beggarly elements that we once were, and we've accepted that. And the Lord is like, no, just turn towards me, turn to where I'm calling you, and just take that step. No matter how tough it may feel, just take it. Just take that first step. Wherever, right? The Bible says if we've stumbled, let us return back to the former spot where we knew the will of God. So if you've gone down this area, the slippery slope, and you find yourself back in sin, and you can't figure out the will of God, there's too much confusion, too much chaos in the spirit, return back to where you received clear revelation from God. Maybe it's at a church, maybe somebody spoke to you, maybe it was a word online. And do that thing, child of God. Because basically, the Lord never leaves us. The Lord is faithful, even when we're faithless. We turn our backs, walk the other way. So we leave the Lord back where he was. And he beckons us to come back to that spot and follow him. Because he's the good shepherd. So he's the chief shepherd of our souls. He's going to guide us. But we have to go to where he is, submit, just like a sheep would to its shepherd, and follow. And we get out of line, right? He may send the dogs after us to chase us, right? Metaphorically, the angels. He may send them our way. He may send somebody to talk to us. But my point being is that we follow him. And if we decide to leave, then he's ever faithful waiting. Saying, my son or my daughter, I'm here. I'm waiting for you. Come follow me. Put that stuff away. Put those idols away. Because really, anything that we put before God becomes an idol. Eventually, maybe at first, it's seemingly innocent. Oh, it's just I'm having a little fun. I'm just doing this thing. Distraction. Ultimately, that becomes a habit, and then eventually it becomes an idol. In 1 John, he ends with, little children, keep yourself from idols, which I think is so profound. It's so profound. Because that is the one thing that will get God so mad at us. When we say, this thing, my comfort or my pleasure is more important than you, God. And then he's forced to get angry with us, right? And to cause disruption in our lives. But if we return to the Lord, he will forgive us. You have to remember that. You have to remember that if you do decide to say, Jesus, I'm done living like this. It's not working, Lord. Have mercy upon me, a sinner. God will receive you back again, always. Because God's heart is always for our good. Even though And so if you wandered today, child of God, just return to the Lord. Don't think about anything else. Don't think about your mortgage. Don't think about your bills. Don't think about the rent that has to be paid, right? Just think about getting right with God. Because at the end of the day, when we wrap everything up, when all is said and done, you stand before the King of Kings and you give an account, and rent's just going to seem so menial at that point. The electric bill, the water bill, it's going to seem so meaningless. Because then you'll be in the Spirit. But you will be. You'll be in the Spirit. Because when you're in the Spirit, you have your mind set upon the things of the Spirit. Just like James says, that just like the body without the Spirit is dead, so faith, be without any works, is also dead. God bless you.